Go ahead and call the regular scheduled commission meeting of September the 16th, 2024 to order with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order of business, approval of minutes from our regular meeting of September 3rd, 2024.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion to approve the minutes from September 3rd, 2024.
Got a motion from Jerry, a second from Randy. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Approval of claims.
Motion to approve claims as presented.
I'll review the claims. I will second that motion.
Okay. One of the things I think we need to pay close attention to, I don't know if you noticed it, but there's 8,000 in veterinary
Yes, I did notice that.
expenses on there this time, so it's pretty significant.
I mean, it was a little bit higher, I think, than normal, but if you're correct, I did notice a lot of bad expenses out there at the animal shelter.
You can note to check into that, see if it just didn't get like a month behind.
Yeah, it may have been 3 weeks instead of 2,
The development didn't come in.
I mean, I was hoping
There was 5 weeks in August, and there may have been an extra one on there.
Culper Attorney too, we showed out too.
There's a lot of claims.
I mean, there's just about a page of those, so.
I think it was around 12,000.
So, yeah, about 1,000.
Got a motion from Jerry, a second from Randy to approve as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Dusty Hunt, Highway Superintendent.
We got truck 18 and truck 6 dropped off at Mainland Diesel for repairs. Crews are doing ditching and shoulder work on Plum Creek Road. They put culvert extensions on and moved the ditch back away from the roadside to allow for a wider shoulder. We're still mowing roadsides. The repairs on Wolf Road are done. We plan to chip and seal over the repairs when they settle in. We have moved the wider road to dig out some soft spots, dig out for repairs. And Duper Lane, when we talked about that in the past, I'm still investigating on that. So this plat she gave us, it shows the road running to here, but I found out that it actually runs all the way back to here. So I want to make certain of that before we make a decision on that. Because we'll have to put a turnaround in back there. But once I find out more, I'll bring it back to you.
Is that paved all the way back there?
No, it's gravel.
Right.
So it's paved up basically halfway, and then the back half's all gravel. And I have not checked the specs on the gravel part yet, so I find out if it does run all the way back off. Crew's been covering gravel roads with rock. Crew's been working on McCurry Ridge Hill to level up some of the small slips with rock. And we plan on chip and sealing after the repairs are done, which we actually did that today. It's chip and sealed now. And we plan to do some chip and seal repairs on a portion of Wade Hill Road as well. And then in our last meeting, we talked to Derek from USI about looking at the cost estimates for Bridge 66. This is the paper we talked about signing.
Gotcha.
And then I also have another paper from Bernie from FTG&H. So the Bridge 13 that we just started, we have to have somebody to look over that to make sure it's done right. The testings are all done, all that. And they're wanting to know if we want them to do all this. And they have an hourly price sheet here to do all the survey work and all that, not to exceed $5,000. If you don't wanna look at it, well. And I did talk to Bernie a little bit as well on Plum Creek. We gotta submit all that to community crossings. So if I get him to help us figure that portion out, it may add to this 5,000 that we talked about for Bridge 17.
What's the Bridge 13?
Lower Digging, the one they just started on, the one down.
Well, what's this for?
So that's to finish up, so Bernie and them helped do the engineering for Bridge 13. But then this community crossing, somebody has to follow the construction of it, to make sure everything's done like community crossing.
Who did the engineering on Bridge 13? Surely they did.
Bernie did that. And I
I don't understand the additional costs.
Well, he said they just done the engineering design, they
I mean, we've never been charged this before.
don't know. That's what they gave me. I do know somebody has.
Do you remember ever being charged this before?
I'm sure you
Not,
have.
not by the same company that we given the engineering. Guess if that's following the work through.
And there's certain portions of it I can inspect in the GRC, but on the engineering side, I can't do all that.
Right, and I'm not asking us to do that. I just don't remember ever
Didn't we end up,
I don't know.
having this before.
didn't we end up doing an extra cost on that? Lovely. We ended up paying somebody to follow that through because of that. We had trouble with the company that was doing the bridge, so we made sure we.
I think that was different, a little different
Little
scenario.
different Scenario, but we ended up paying some extra to make sure.
Cause that was Louisville paving.
Yes. Seems like we paid somebody to walk through to make sure that.
I think it was Louisville paving.
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
but we had issues with it, so I think that's one where we did pay a little extra to make sure somebody walked through all of the final work. I don't know.
And maybe in the past it was included in the first engineering, so
Probably, Dusty, in the future, if you don't mind, send us this stuff ahead of time so we can
I can't.
have time to ask questions and review it if you don't mind.
Yeah, and I just found out about that a few days ago. And it didn't fit the bill. But I can do that.
What's our rush on it? Table it till the next meeting and talk
Well,
to them about it, or?
They've started and they're driving piling, the footer piling right now, so I don't know how quick it needs to be looked over. But Barney and them did have a guy on site today when they was driving their footage. So I don't know.
Why would we just include this in the engineering fees when we quote the engineering, to be honest, that's why. I don't, I mean, we've done
Well, if I
4 or 5
remember,
bridges since I've been a commissioner, but I don't ever remember
it
having
seems like the
additional
engineering was
supervisor costs.
fairly cheap on this one too, so maybe it just wasn't put in there, I don't know. This is the first one I've done since I've been here, and this was actually started before me, so. I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Next meeting's gonna be the 7th. No problem.
Almost a 3-week stretch.
I didn't get that bridge done for 3 weeks.
No, but the parts they're doing before it gets covered up will have to be inspected. I mean, and I can get with Bernie tomorrow and see if it's something we gotta have quickly, and then we may just have to have a special meeting to deal with it. But if not, then we can wait till. I mean, if you want to do that, yeah.
I think we probably should ask.
Oh, yeah. Right here, it's almost like you're saying, I mean, you've never seen it before. It's kind of hot. Have to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say we didn't, but I don't remember it. See, maybe we was getting it and
Maybe it's
it
already.
was just getting approved and paid by
Yeah,
somebody else, I don't know.
yeah, I don't either. This first bridge I've done, so. And I'm only halfway in.
I think you're mostly right, for the most part, been included in, but we've had a couple that we have walked through. I know we did something different with the logs at one because we had some issues with the contractor.
Well, just like Plum Creek, and it was community crossings, it has to be followed by guidelines, which Justin was even here on did, he went through all that, so. I know somebody has to be there expecting all that, but.
Entertain a motion. Either to approve or table.
I make a motion to table until, Dusty can speak to Bernie.
Yeah, I'll get with them.
I think more than anything, just ask him if this is normal, because I just don't remember ever doing it.
I'll ask him.
I'll second your motion, Jerry, to table.
Got a motion by Jerry, a second by Randy, to table the, Bridge 13 construction observation proposal from FPVH until our meeting of October the 7th, 2024. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. And then refresh my memory on this, because I was under the understanding that there was no cost until a certain date, but this is saying there's $15,000 fee.
Well, that's what he was getting approved that night to get started on doing all that work, looking to see what's the best route and all that. Now, there won't be no charge on like engineering and stuff until we find out what route we're gonna take. Whether it's for federal,
What was Jerry, you and Randy's understanding? Bridge 66, remember Derek told, so they could look at it and tell us which route would be best, either community crossings or federal aid. We only had until maybe December, like that long,
Yeah,
30 days to get in for the federal aid.
right,
yeah.
So I don't really know what we're getting for our $15,000, I guess, is that a problem?
see which way to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
That was
federal, if you.
1.2 was the estimate.
Well, it could be close to $2 million. So he's saying there's a few different things we can do down there. So where that creek wise at Popcorn, if we put in the same bridge, it could be as high as 2 million, but if we go upstream and look for a different location to cross and bring the road out, then it could be cheaper.
That's the other thing, the federal also paid for the engineering
Yes.
and community crossings doesn't.
In the federal, we can't get till 30.
Right.
But we gotta start trying to get it.
Right.
That's what was almost immediate, I mean. I know we didn't have the 15,000 in the budget anywhere, uh, You know what's currently in the commissioner's account? It was around 400,000, is that right, sound right?
In which account are you talking about?
Casino revenue.
It's go with $15,000, not good.
Wasn't we talking about a 5-year plan to go over your bridges as well? Wasn't that,
Small bridges and
that's
stuff.
part of that too, or no?
It doesn't appear to be.
No.
No, I think that had the 3 options to look at for federal community cross.
Right. I mean, obviously, it's there's a risk, I mean, because obviously, we can use the community crossing, we can always go community crossings out. But I also believe that he thinks that the engineering on this bridge is gonna be closer to 150,000, where typically we're usually around 60 or 70,000, something like that. And if it goes to 2 million, community crossing caps at 1 million, and they're gonna pay 75% of a million.
Yeah.
We're gonna, if it goes to 2 million, we can't include it in 2 projects, it's gotta be 1 project. So the county would be out $1.2 million if it is a $2 million project.
Yeah.
As opposed if it's federal, they're gonna pay 80/20, and they would pay 80% of the 2 million as well as the engineering fees. So, I mean, it's
Worthwhile to find out.
it's a risk. I mean, you're risking 15,000 for the potential to get 1.1 or 1.2, save 1.1 or 1.2 million.
Yeah.
Dollar amounts just.
Well, and the Lower Dugan Bridge we're doing now, it's just a little ways down. It's under $1 million, so. Which that creek up there does have 2 Ys that come in, so it's a little bit bigger span, but not much, so. But I honestly don't know what's the best way to do it.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of do we want to take that risk? I mean, is what it matters.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it at all. Like I said, you may get something for your 15,000 and you may get nothing for your 15,000.
It's a gamble.
Entertain a motion.
Yeah, see that.
I feel like just, it's not have to be looked at, whether it's now or later, it's gonna have to be looked at.
You have any engineering firm?
That's USI.
You sign? All right, I'll make a motion to approve project fee at $15,000
You guys got consultants?
to, yeah, whoever they are. Let's be honest. So, for the,
Bridge 66
yeah,
engineering
66.
assessment.
One of those months.
I'll second the motion. Got a motion by Randy, a second by Jamie to approve a engineering assessment on Bridge 66 with USI Consulting in the amount of $15,000. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. We'll have to look at what the council take it out of. I don't know. We may have a fund, in local road and street or Coon Bridge or something that has it. If we don't, then we'll just have to take it out of. Do you have anything else, Dustin?
Yes. So last meeting, we talked about quotes for the striping machine. These are the three that I got. So circled the totals in red on them.
Is it all the same machine or?
Yeah. Well, they're different brands, but the same, they'll have the same hoppers, same guns,
She should spit right there.
If you want to, you can read off the three bids. Is this, Indie Systems or something like that?
yeah, and Thesis. Yeah, and he didn't really set it up like a whole, what a normal quote, he sent me an email, state open prices of machine use. But there's your three prices, this from here, from Thesis, this here from Easy Line. And they're all three the same machines, they're different brands, but they'll have the same guns, same hoppers, same black bead settings.
Onto a regular truck.
Yeah, yeah, they're on flatbed or picking it.
So there's three quotes, one's from Indesis in the amount of 80,500, one from Easy Liner in the amount of 88,754. And then the final quote is from Kelly Cresswell LLC in the amount of $56,075.
And all three of these machines would have to be made, so it ain't something we get tomorrow, but. I think
What's the lead time on them?
most of them's a month, I think the longest was a month, 2 weeks or something like that.
And what account was you?
Equipment.
Yeah, I would be taking out our equipment line item, 176,
And there's two, we actually have two
yeah,
accounts that still have funds left in on equipment. I think 175,000 and I don't remember what the other one
20.
was.
We got 95,000 between spaces. The locals road and street will have one with 20,000, and then the 75,000 is left 76.
Do you want to, you had other equipment quotes as well?
Yep, so we
Do you
got,
wanna consider them as well, or, cause I'm sure they're collectively more than $95,000.
so we got three, this one here, warranties are here. Enterprise here. And what I had to do on, let's see, that one, everything was good on. This one here, I called them today, they was charging me $1,300 for delivery. I told him we figured it out, so he said I could take that off. This is the price minus that delivery. And then it's the 4-year, 4,000 hours. And then this one here, he had us down for a thumb attachment, which I called him and told him I didn't get the other quote with that, so we took that off. There's the final price on that one. The 2-year one, too, that's
Are they all same horsepower
Yep,
machine?
same horsepower, same weight, same reach, same track specs. I mean, they might be, yeah, they might be within 2 horsepower.
So I'm assuming the Sammy, a case and
A Sany, a Cabelco, and a Kubota. Yeah. And the Cabelco, it actually comes with a Pecan mulcher on it, which is about the best mulcher you can get, I think.
Hell, I mean, I think there's pros and cons to all of them.
Right, yeah.
What's the piece of equipment?
Mini excavator
Big
and
excavator and.
upholstery mulcher.
Upholstery mulcher.
Funding.
So,
We have to put back into. Something new before.
Well, it won't go in equipment, that'll go in somewhere else. But with the funding I have now, I would have to pay so much now and then pay so much out next year.
yeah, I think that obviously these are both over what you currently have funds for,
Right.
or all these are. That's not necessarily, I don't remember what we had asked for in the 25 budget equipment, do you remember?
Same thing, 90, with the two combined was 95.
So just to go through the quotes real quick, on the sanding machine from Newman Equipment, quote was 123,525. From Southeastern Equipment on the Cabelco, 129,321. And then the Kubota was 129,546. So I guess at this point, we need to make a decision. Obviously, the excavator with forestry mulcher, we don't have funds available current in 2024
Right.
to fully fund it. So I guess the only decision to make is, do we want to go ahead and purchase a striper? You'll have carryover if you've got 95 in there now, and the striper was 56. 39,000 left. I think you put another 95, and that's going to leave you in 25 approximately the 130,000 that you need to
Yeah.
purchase that if you choose to.
And just so everybody knows what this will be replacing is our long arm. This gets so old. I would still like to keep the long arm for smaller jobs, but this gets so old, it can't run every day like it should. Just
We just got it back, didn't we?
yeah, we just got it back. It's been down on for 4 months now, so.
We've spent a god awful fortune repairing the long arm because of what we're trying to use it for.
Yeah.
Grinding trees with a long arm. Whereas with this mini hoe and mulching head, it was just grinding right down with like forestry does. So in the future, it's well worth it. We probably spent enough in the past few years to pay for it in repairs.
And this machine's got multiple uses. I mean, once you get caught up on the long arm, you can put in culverts with it, you can do ditch work. And all three of these machines are basically a knuckle boom out front. Instead of it being a fixed boom beside you, they've actually got a knuckle out front that will turn and dig sideways as well as out front.
Well worth it. Well, I would make a motion to purchase the striping machine from Kelly Croswell LLC in the amount of $56,075.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion from Jerry, a second from Randy to purchase the Kelly Cresswell striper in the amount of $56,075. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And you've probably already done it on this, Dusty, but the other thing is, one thing that's real important on the mulchers is your hydraulic flow,
Yeah.
minimum of 40 to 42 PSI. I'd want to make sure that all
Yeah,
of
we're
them.
good, and that's one reason we have to go with the 35-inch mulcher is because anything over that won't run on none of these three sheets. That's the biggest we can run on.
Do you have anything else?
Fall cleanup. We
Yeah.
discussed, the possibility of doing fall cleanup. October.
And we got a date on that, yeah, somebody was
I was suggesting to Dusty that we do it like the second weekend of October, that way we're not getting into the end of the month. And it'll-
10, 11, 12.
Well,
Halloween,
Mhm.
things are going on.
it'd be the 11th, 12th, and 13th, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
I mean, dumpsters we did last time.
I think we ended up with 6,000.
7.
Usually I'll schedule 8, but depending on what comes in, we don't have to give all 8. But 8 was what we done. Shoot for.
That's again the 11th.
Yeah, 11, 12, 13.
I'll make a motion to approve the rental of 7 dumpsters for fall cleanup, October the 11th through 13th of 2024.
I'll second that motion.
A motion by Jamie, a second by Randy, to approve the rental of 7 dumpsters for fall cleanup. Dates October the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
We could have that posted on the Facebook webpage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, probably county webpage. too.
He'll get it out.
Yeah, I mean,
No, we will.
newspaper, I'm assuming as well.
He'll get it out there.
There's money available.
Did you happen to talk to anybody about what IE costs for that speed study on Garland Road?
I have not done that yet. Will.
That's all I got. Thanks, Jim.
They went out and did some, hot patching out of Bennington. You had them do it there at the end of Browning Lane. I forget.
Yeah.
The one spot that I hoped that they'd get, we didn't get. I'll have to get with you and show you exactly what it's at.
Yeah, I thought it was at the end of the driveway past the alley there. He thought he got it, but that didn't.
Yeah. I'll get with you and show you exactly.
Yes, so,
One other thing that I'll remember. Randy, did you have anything else for us?
No, I'm good. It's just, I know we've talked about some things like that. Scotty Road, hopefully next year, maybe get that oiled out there if possible.
just,
Sealed or something, to kill the dust, because it has been rough this year, but I imagine everybody that lives on gravel roads probably praying for that stuff right now, so.
I know what it is. Have we advertised, for the paving
that comes out Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah. It'll be in the paper Thursday and then Pete's gonna put it on, our website as well.
All right, nothing under old business, new business, John Canola.
Not asking for money. We'll start out with park business. All well at Markland Park, 2023 trees are all fine. Grass is cut but brown. Bryant's Creek picked up trash after boating, mostly beer cans, boxes, large blue tarp. 3 signs still up. 1 large Ohio Riverway sign is stolen and people are still boating there. So 3 out of 4 signs are still left. Patriot picked up a little trash, branches, Rose Garden volunteers that are recruited are not doing their job. I will weed and trim next trip. 3 mature trees could possibly be removed in 2025, 2026. Let's see, I removed some advertising sign from our lawn, which is illegal, of course. Water contractor donated 12 trees and bushes near the bridge. A couple are deceased already. Let's see, September 12th, Thursday, we had our regularly scheduled park board meeting. The board members discussed buying more brick dust for the 3 ball fields, and we bought 3 new flags and found out we need permission from the Army Corps of Engineers to place simple benches near the playing fields. We thought that was really enlightening. Zoning news, Tech Center Scrapyard is still holding steady at 14 disabled vehicles. Messiest house in Beebe, they had tenants move out, so Pearl Street looks much better. Most all the inoperable vehicles that I reported February 7th in Beebe are still there, 17 out of 22 of them, and there's 3 new ones. This is only on one side of town, of course. Nothing's been done. And I expect to attend one more town council meeting October 1st and probably give up permanently on ever seeing Beebe enforce their own ordinances. That's it.
Thank you, John.
You bet.
Jamie Brown, Lifetime Resources. Here.
I'm actually Erin Thomas. Jamie's my assistant. But I'm the executive director at Lifetime Resources. And typically I go and I present to the county on an annual basis. But I've been informed that it may be you all now that's controlling the revenue sharing funds, which I believe is how we're typically. Council. I'm sorry, what did I say? Sorry.
I thought you said county, I'm not sure.
Yeah, county council. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about Lifetime Resources and who we are. So we are an area agency on aging, and that is something that is designated through the Older Americans Act. We're a little bit different than a typical nonprofit because there's actually an organization like ours that's designated to each region across the state. And so we are what's known as Area 12, and we cover 5 counties here in southeastern Indiana, including Switzerland. I gave you a packet there that kind of describes a little bit about who we are and some of the services that we provide, but basically, we have a variety of funding sources that are put together to allow us to offer a multitude of services that are ultimately aimed at helping people maintain their independence and stay in their homes for as long as possible, when a lot of times they might otherwise face nursing facility placement. And so you can see there in the letter, someone who is on our services, the cost per month, this was actually for prior year, but was about $412 in comparison to a nursing facility stay at over $7,000. And so it's not only where these people prefer to be in their homes for as long as possible, but it's also a far more costly, way to receive services and, sort of maintain your independence. And so when I say services, those are things like home delivered meals or home modifications. So for example, if somebody is no longer able to get in and out of the bathtub, they may need a walk-in shower. Or we also, fund personal care services, things that help with those sort of activities of daily living. So cooking, cleaning, bathing, transfers, all those different types of things that people need assistance with to be able to remain independent in their home. We also provide public transportation, which is Catch a Ride. And although we're an area agency on aging, one of the misconceptions is that it's only, Catch a Ride is only for older adults or doctor's appointments and things like that. While that happens to be the majority of what we do, it's actually available to anyone for any purpose. So if you wanted to just go visit a friend or go to the park or anything like that, you can actually use Catch a Ride for those purposes. You can see from the pie chart there, it breaks down the services that should actually say 2023 services, sorry. For 2023, so you had, for example, 41 individuals who received information and assistance, 148 individuals who are receiving case management services from us. So what that means is basically, when someone calls our agency, there's sort of a a three-step process that they go through. One is just information and assistance. So we have an electronic database and even an entire physical library of information about various different community resources and things like that. And sometimes people just need information because they don't know what's available to them. If they actually need some form of in-home service or something that we actually fund, then we will go into the home, do an assessment with them, figure out what all of their needs are, what they qualify for, and then come up with a care plan for them. And then we coordinate those services with the different community providers. So for example, home delivered meals, we don't provide the meals, we fund the meals through a third-party provider. If that makes sense. And then we do the ongoing case management for those individuals. We also have a guardianship program, legal aid. We have a congregate meal program, which is currently over at the Legion. We're hoping to move to Schweitzer Square eventually, but they're doing some work there, so we're kind of at an interim right now solution. Anyway, you can also see there that our 2024 budget just for Switzerland County is $375,000, and our request is for $15,000, which is roughly 4% of our overall budget. And what that does is, I mentioned that we have a variety of funding, state and federal funds, and many of them require some form of local match. And so this allows us to, bring in that match and draw down those dollars to serve the community. So, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions, anything like that you all may have.
Historically, when has council voted on and awarded or not awarded, whichever, the request?
Well, it's kind of changed over time because generally what we would do is we would come, sort of May, June time to all the local governments, across the six counties actually that we serve, because Catch-A-Ride is in a sixth county, for the next year's budget. But then the timeline kind of got pushed back here because I think, following COVID, there were some issues with revenue sharing funds and things like that. So I think they wanted to wait until a little bit later to see, what the revenue is going to look like. And so, obviously I'm here still looking to find out what's going on with 2024 when typically I would be asking for 2025. So I'm really just trying to do what works best for you all. But we are a bit behind schedule in terms of what the norm at least used to be.
When would be the latest we could give you an answer or a response?
Well, I mean, we'd like to know as soon as possible, because obviously we're going into the last quarter of 2024.
And I'll explain why I asked
Yeah,
that
yeah.
question, is because we currently haven't gone through the casino revenue budget, which is where this money,
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume that's typically came from.
yeah,
We are scheduled to have our general fund budget on the 19th, which is Thursday, I think.
okay,
Thursday. Once we complete it, then we're gonna go right into our casino revenue
okay,
budget. And I can't speak for either Randy or Jerry, but for me, I would hate to make a commitment at this point, not knowing
right,
where we stand relative to our casino revenue.
Yeah.
I know there's a number of county facilities that's not funded in our general fund. That's dependent upon the casino revenue, as well as obviously all of our employee benefits, et
Yeah.
cetera. So for me, it'd be hard to make a decision not knowing where we're at.
Yeah.
Relative to that casino revenue.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it to Jerry and Randy if they got anything they would like to add.
Well, wouldn't they have to fill out an MOU or something like that for this one?
Because it is a non-governmental organization, yes, it would require also a grant request.
Yeah.
Which is something that our county attorney is working on, so it should be something we have fairly.
and that's fairly typical. We're used to sort of filling out a general, this is what you're paying for, this is the
I
service
mean,
that
I
you
assume you
provide.
have to do that with every county. I'm gonna assume.
It started to become more common, yeah.
I know in the past, when I was on council, just handing money out.
Yeah, I know that's how you will.
Yeah, well, no. Really?
You're still filled out. Filled out an application.
Well, yes, yeah, they
Show
provide that
their-
application, all that stuff out, yes. But, all right, touche.
I will say, you know, our organization is been viewed almost as like quasi-governmental because of the nature of the services that we provide and the fact that we're a designated area agency on aging and provide public transportation and things like that. So I feel like sometimes we're viewed a little bit differently than your typical nonprofit. We also we're very highly regulated and, you know, not able to you know, we bring in additional funds from the clients themselves when we're able. So for example, we have a cost share for our services when the funding source allows, and we, you know, we do everything that we can to try to bring in as much, you know, non-local government revenue as well.
Yeah, when I say non-governmental organization, Indiana code specifies that if it's not for the corporate or legal purpose of the county,
Yeah.
then it has to be, then the county can give funds, but it has to be through a grant process.
Yeah.
And so we're in the process of establishing that grant process.
Okay.
But I would think we'd have it done fairly quickly anyway, probably by the time we get through the
Okay.
casino revenue budget. we should
Okay,
have.
yeah, I mean, if there's anything else, you know, any additional information you need from me or anything like that, just let me know. Otherwise I'll follow up maybe in a couple months and see where we are and go from there.
Yeah, I would think we should be done with the budget easily by the end of October.
Okay, I will follow up. Thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Wilma Rosenberg.
Yeah. I'm here representing Switzerland County Tourism, and I've been working with Wesley. You guys,
That way everybody can see you. They can put a face with the voice.
all right. So I'm Wilma Rosenberger, and I'm with Switzerland County Tourism. And I've been working with Wesley on behalf of our tourism. We have requested permission for repairs of the electrical outlets around the fences. You guys have already approved that. All I'm asking at this time, we have a quote from Dean Hausmeyer, and he's planning to start the work on Thursday. But I'm just asking if you will consider allowing that you pay Dean directly and then we process it similar to a grant situation to the county for accounting purposes with our State Board of Accounts information. No change in the amount. As far as I know, it's $1,956. Just asking that we can process it that way. And I think Wesley was in agreement with that.
I mean, I assume that that's completely legal and allowable. I have no problem. That's my opinion.
We just kind of go ahead and pay that.
We pay it, then they would basically pay us back. We would have to, I assume Pete would do the grant or fill out the grant application, or is there a grant application?
Kind of back to the government thing, there doesn't have to be at this point. And we've already agreed to do it. It's just the process of how we're doing it. Yeah.
Just basically you need to pay the invoice.
I just need, yep, that's all I need, a paid invoice.
She can pay it out of commissioners
Yeah.
and put it back to the commissioners. It doesn't matter to me. It's up to, it's up to you guys.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
I got a motion from Jerry, second by Randy to approve the electrical upgrades, on the courthouse fence, to be paid by the county and reimbursed by tourism. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, all.
Thanks, Wilma.
Kathy? Health Department.
Here to discuss two positions in the health department that needs to be filled. One is a new position being created, and it's a part-time position. It's will be through Health First Funds. It won't, not the 1195, 959 general. It's going to be like a 24 to 29 hour work week. Pay is $16.60 to $17.60 an hour, and it'll probably be a 50-50. This is a financial budget and food inspector position, part-time. So it'll be paid out of two different funds. both grant
Both
funds,
grants, right. Okay.
both grant funds.
Both of them are the 1161.
Oh, it'll be 1161, and then the other one will be, the 1206, 1168.
And I'm assuming your board has already approved.
Yes, they have, yes.
So just one part-time.
I've got another one. You want to do them at the same time, or do you want to do them separately?
However, Jerry, you're ready. I'm fine either way. We'll do it together.
Okay. Our registrar that I was here in June for, filled the position, and she will be filling this position, the part-time position we just talked about. Her skills and education and, histories works best for this. So now I am, in a situation where I need the registrar filled again. So it's the same position. It's a full-time position, and it'll be 40 hours. It'll be the 33 to 34.5 annual, and it will also come out of Health First funds. It's 100% fund.
Not out of general fund.
No, we're just asking for those two positions,
Grant funded position.
grant funded positions. Mhm.
Can you tell me the two positions one more time?
Sure. The part-time is going to be finance, budget, accounting budget manager / food inspector.
I remember that being in your budget. And the second one,
And the full-time one is registrar vital records.
registrar.
Mhm.
Other records.
Vital.
Just trying to figure out why. I didn't know.
It's my southern accent.
And
Yeah. Siri, let's see.
you want a motion, I'll make, should be approved. Filling the two positions, the part-time position of financial budget / or budget manager / food inspector, plus the full-time position of the registrar vital records position. Can't even get online right now.
Oh, that's what you said.
I have a motion by Randy, a second by Jerry to approve the filling of the finance budget manager / food inspector, and the registrar vital records full-time position at the. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. So up next, Pete, with board appointments and time and attendance update.
So we have one application for the Florence Regional Sewer Board or Sewer District Board. Ashley Hall has applied and confirmed that she owns property within the Florence Regional Sewer District. There is one vacant position. It is, I believe, Lyons vacated. And this position or this opening would run until 5/14 of 2027. And we did fill one, I believe it was almost a month ago, Robbie Cunningham in the other opening. And so this is the last remaining opening of 2024. Well, it's not counting, but you're not, right? I'm not gonna count your opening. I'm not gonna count your opening.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Ashley Hall or appoint Ashley Hall to the Florence Regional Sewer District.
Second that motion.
A motion by Randy, a second by Jerry to approve the appointment of Ashley Hall to the Florence Regional Sewer District Board. Any further discussion? All in favor?
And if you would, if I could get all three of you to sign that resolution, And Jamie, if you would sign the last page of the application for our records.
Jerry, here we go.
Get it?
Well, you get separate, you want to.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Not yet. So next up is ordinance number 9-16.
I'm gonna send it.
My mistake.
See what happens.
My mistake.
It's good news.
No, no.
It's all good news, I believe.
Yeah.
So I know there's an email that went out, but, I have spoken with ADP, and from a county standpoint, we believe that we are paid up completely with ADP. Kate, let's say Kate, she's the VP from ADP, is confirming for us that we are paid up. She believes that if she saw the payment went through, she sees that, she just has to confirm with the person over our account directly, who's been out on vacation.
So originally they would build us through like April, is that correct? Have they billed us anymore?
So our account should have been paused. I apologize. I was kind of getting there, but I did not get there fast enough. Our account should have been paused once we had our meeting where they said they're not going to do anything else until we get paid out. So as of that conversation between me and I think it was just you and me, and Claudia.
I don't think I ever spoke to Claudia. It was probably the Cindy Byron.
Okay, like I said, 4 or 5 of us on that call. I think as of that call, everything was paused, at least everything but the time clocks. And once we got the time clock back, everything here was paused.
So
So
you
we have not incurred more debt since.
got that email from her, what, last Tuesday or Wednesday? Kate, meeting Kate.
I can tell you exactly in seconds here and I'll search it.
I guess where I'm headed is she's had long enough to respond. If she hadn't responded, can we go ahead and shoot her or
Well,
remind her
I was gonna say the last update I know was Monday.
last Monday,
No, this Monday.
today?
Because he responded and asked me about, which I haven't got to yet, but if we can get it off our record. And then she said, yes, I'm gonna look into it because Claudia's on vacation still. But that's something we can look into as well.
That was good.
That was,
Oh, that wasn't Monday. That would have been Friday. That would have been Friday.
I'm sorry, it was
Last work. I don't know why I was thinking today was Tuesday. My bad. It had to be Friday when she answered me.
Yeah, that was the email correspondence that was all going back between that.
Yes, apologies.
It's not, I get this all.
That would have been last week. Yes, that would have been Friday.
Any up? All right, well, I'll wait till are you finished with AD?
Yeah, I was 6 o'clock Friday, so I saw it this morning. That's why I took it as this morning. So my apologies. Yes, so she's gonna look into the debt being removed from our record. Gail and I have met. There's a better word, but I'm gonna say vested. Right Stuff and Attendance on Demand, who are 2 vendors that are currently being used by other county governments throughout the state. Just to backtrack a little bit, I did reach out to my admin group that was just recently created throughout the state. And we got about 12 responses. Right Stuff was the most widely used and Attendance on Demand was second. So we reached out to them. I believe that we're on the right track. They're both using county governments and they both look like they can fulfill our needs. A time and attendance team has been created and is almost complete. I am waiting on 1 response. But we're gonna meet next week, get a brief, probably next week, get a brief background. Dusty's volunteered to serve for the highway. Jenny's gonna be involved, but with Jenny being new, Dusty's on the team. Gail Sullivan, Gail Rails, and Kevin across the street, Kevin Hastings across the street, and Emily. I'm hopeful Emily or someone from the EMS department will serve on it as well. We had some initial questions for both of them. I'll let Gail speak a little bit to it if you want, but to my knowledge, they answered all
Yeah,
of
they
our
answered all
questions
of our questions.
with flying colors. So it sounds like it's gonna work. I know they're salesmen.
So at a high level view, what service do they offer?
Like time and attendance wise.
Yeah.
It's just a time and attendance system basically both ways. I think one
Time
rents the
clock.
time clock and the other one sells it. The systems, from an HR standpoint, the systems will be super helpful. We
Do they have, do they have geo fences and?
They offer all the good stuff. It doesn't necessarily come standard, but they offer everything. We can go super simple.
Does
or
it
we can
integrate
do
with
the Saturday.
Harris?
Well, and that's,
Yeah, we don't want
Because I think
to understand.
one, maybe two counties from each one have Harris as well as this payroll system.
but yeah, actually even Right Stuff has the form, I'm not gonna get it
They
right,
have
but
the vouchers, the payroll vouchers and the state record that where you record your time off.
so like prints those payroll vouchers. It prints it out of the payroll system.
Do we need is that something you have to submit to the state or?
No, not necessarily as long as you have a record. That's the ones that we still use.
And it also,
The state board of accounts says as long as we are keeping track in an efficient way that they are to about what that exact form is.
when it tracks
But
PTO as well as.
Yes. Yes, that was the question we all, yeah, absolutely. And people can look it up on their own rather than
right.
having to come to a desktop and look at an Excel sheet that I created. So I'm super proud of it, but there's many more better options in this world.
When,
They'll pay out of two funds if needed.
I'm sorry.
It'll pay out of two funds like the highway where they were doing.
And that's why we'd like to get the time and attendance team meeting with them as well. Because, I mean, granted, she knows much more, or much better questions to ask than I do. I'm asking the questions that have been brought up from the last attempted implementation, if you will. But that's all I got. So I don't really have real world experience to ask the questions that Dusty's gonna know to ask, or that Emily's gonna know to ask, or that Kevin's gonna know to ask. So I think we can get it vetted. That was what I looked for. If we can get it vetted from the time and attendance team, that we can get a much better buy-in and a much better success rate when we implement.
Is there scheduled meetings with
Not yet.
Warner both? Not yet.
There will be soon. We talked to them both about it. I just need to follow up, which will be tomorrow. Follow up and say, what dates can you meet with this team? And it'll probably be like an hour meeting each, maybe a little bit longer, depending on the level of questioning, which in my mind, we want to be as thorough as possible to start. Because I'd rather waste 15 minutes now than 2 weeks later.
Good.
Yeah,
Do you have any idea on cost of this is going to run?
I do. I will do that.
Okay, you don't want to share, okay, I mean.
Yeah, I will send a follow-up email on cost and.
Yeah, we probably should have advertised costs, yeah.
But I would prefer not, I'm happy.
I understand, it's fair.
I would send informational emails, I'll just say that.
Excuse me, may I make a comment? I'm no expert on this, but with the health department, we had a couple of issues, and I think you just answered one of them. We have employees that are paid out of 2 or 3 different funds, so now that's all taken care of.
Yep.
The second issue we had was that we have employees that are paid from the nurse management clinic, which has nothing to do with us, but also from the health department.
That's still gonna be, like, you're gonna be 1159 and nurse managed clinic is 4014.
Okay.
So that's two
There was-
separate funds. Are you talking about the janitor?
Janitor and a health officer and.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
So
wasn't,
that'll be-
there was an issue there, who was gonna pay or, so I just wanted to make sure.
No, because you're both turning in separate hours for them. And when they are in your office, they're gonna make sure that they click health department, or
Okay.
whatever their title may be over there, and then nurse managed clinic.
With ADP, it didn't work that way.
No, it
So-
did not.
So I'm just
They-
making sure those two
They
things,
showed the examples that ADP could not show, so
well, that's good, that's good.
yes,
Okay. All right, thanks.
you're welcome.
So,
Maybe Kathy needs to be put in on.
Yeah, are you okay joining the team? Because I will absolutely.
You can
Sure,
take my
I'll be
place.
glad to.
That's-
You can take my place.
No.
She keeps trying to resign.
I'll just join.
Yes, I will forward that email.
Okay, that's fine.
In your free time.
In my fridge, yes.
Any other questions for Pete? All right. Thanks, Pete.
Yes, sir.
Up next is ordinance number 9-16-24-4. An ordinance establishing a new fund number 8232, for Lower Dugan Road project. Basically, no different than any other bridge or slip or whatever project we're getting funding. We have to create this fund in order to be able to receive money into it, for community crossing, which is what this is. But I entertain motions.
It's the same as all the others, the wording and everything. The accounts are the same and everything.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 9-16-24-4, Lower Dugan Road project. Fund number 8232.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion from Jerry, a second by Jamie to approve ordinance number, second by Randy to approve ordinance number 9-16-24-4. Fund number 8232, community crossings, fund for Lower Dugan Road project. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Yeah, that's, yeah, okay.
We do need to approve those minutes.
Yeah.
Financial board, yeah. so-
Yeah. I think she, I didn't look at the package, but she.
I'd already read them. Had you read them? She sent us an email.
Yeah.
Next is the minutes from our, local finance board meeting on Monday, September the 3rd at 4:45 PM.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. That's presented.
Second that motion.
Got a motion from Randy, a second from Jerry to approve the minutes as presented from the local finance board, meeting on Monday, September 3rd at 4:45. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
That's it. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do me a
it's, I'll look at it.
I wish they hadn't left,
good-
because this is for her, right?
That. You were, I'm sorry, I didn't even look at you, I was like, did you get?
I was,
I believe it was the.
Should have been a help board.
You know,
So,
he's the one that brought it in, the, I think it's Mossberger, I think it's the, I'm not even for sure. This is like crazy. Okay.
so one of
I didn't
the.
Look at it. Either one of them.
The current ordinance has a, it doesn't. So this new ordinance,
Mhm.
he's wanting it to replace any and all existing ordinances. I don't think we should do that. Because it doesn't call, well, maybe, I don't think it does. Let me just glance through it real quick. What I read earlier. But one of the things that the state asked us to put in order to be able to put in this new system of Bennington was this, water softener discharge, requirement, in our current ordinance. It is not included in this ordinance, so I don't think we should approve this ordinance until it incorporates this requirement as well. So if they can go back and either include this in it or confirm that it's already in there somewhere and I didn't see it, then I think we'll be fine with adopting a new ordinance, that has all of this language. So we're going from basically a 1-page ordinance to an 11-page ordinance. So with that said, I'd make a motion to table the approval of a new on-site sewer system ordinance, pending, the inclusion of the state requirement for the Morville Bennington sewer district, which, calls out water softener use.
I'll second that motion. Table.
Got a motion from Jamie, a second from Randy to table, the approval of the on-site, or excuse me, of the on-site sewer system ordinance pending, the inclusion of additional information as required by the state.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
Board reports? I don't have any.
I do not have any.
I know we do have I think it's next Wednesday, we do have EMA board meeting.
So Ellie with the library had made a request to be on the agenda. I didn't get anything. She said she did it through the website.
Yeah, when I was gonna follow up with you and I.
That's okay. I mean, I don't know why, I don't know how, I've never gotten one, so,
Yeah.
but it's just a board appointment
Yes.
Oh, okay,
for the library.
sorry.
No, that's okay. It's not on there. I met her in the elevator, so.
Yeah, yeah, so, Debbie Margison was our board member and she served, I think she was in the middle of her second term and, she had to resign, for personal reasons. And so she sent me a letter of resignation. I asked, patron Don Tolliver if he would be willing to, join the board. He has some experience that we don't have. A lot of our members currently, pretty much all of them, only have experience in the education sector. He himself is, he's been on boards, he's been a commissioner before. And he also lives in the Florence area, which is not an area that's currently represented by our members. So that he was just my suggestion, and I was just coming to ask to see if you would approve him as a board member.
Do you have any?
You have
Oh, yeah, I've got,
application,
yeah, I had just a letter of recommendation and then a certificate.
We'll say again, Tolliver.
Don Tolliver, yes. Oh, and I don't know if you need to see Debbie's resignation
No,
letter.
that's fine.
So, okay,
Yeah, just,
yeah,
yeah, I know she's,
yeah,
been kind of heard, I'm thinking, well,
I do too. She's wonderful.
her and,
Mhm.
husband both from
No.
Yeah.
good people. Real good
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
Politically
Thanks.
correct.
Hate following.
Politically.
Politically balanced, yeah, that's what I was looking for, but,
That's okay.
So that's all important. Commissioners appointment too.
well,
Yeah.
and you said we were replacing Debbie Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would be filling the rest of her term.
So this would expire in January the 31st of 2026.
Yeah,
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Don Tolliver to the Switzerland County Library Board.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion by Jerry, a second by Randy to approve the appointment of Don Tolliver to Switzerland County Library Board, term ending January the 31st of 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
and so that one, do you need to make a copy of it and for your records
Yes.
too? Okay, so if you just wanna, or send it to me or, yeah, to the library, so just, yeah.
Do you have my email? Did you?
I've got your email, so
Okay.
I'll shoot you an email tomorrow morning to remind you,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Is it? Thank you so much. I think her, you have hers also.
Witness mine.
If I send you an application, would it be okay to have Donna
Be
fill it out?
noted.
Absolutely, yeah, because I didn't say it's valid.
I'll send her an application and have you sign it. Since you already approved it, we'll do full back.
Okay, yeah, I'll.
Sorry about that.
No, that's no
Thank
problem,
you.
thank you.
Can I have your email?
Absolutely.
Right here.
Randy, you didn't have any board appointments?
Oh, sorry.
Anything? Thank you. You guys have anything else?
I do not.
Yo, Pete, Gary, Dusty, John, Wesley. Entertaining a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion. Got a motion from Randy, second by Jamie to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Spring for Holly Clinton.
Well, that's great. Not a
I didn't know that.
regular one.
I'm trying to.